Hello and welcome back to this next episode of A Court of Tales and Whiskers. We're just going to hop right into this. I feel like those of you who don't know, we should probably do a recap. Last we left off, we were at the union of the Brushtails and the Long Whiskers, the two predominant houses of this mouse culture that we find ourselves in. Along the course, we run into the many different associates, willing and otherwise, of the house. And we prepared for our wedding. We had a lovely rehearsal dinner where we got a little bit of foreshadowing for what was going to happen. And then finally at the wedding, it went off without a hitch. Festivities were had. It was honestly a great time until our good friend Chip found a wire leading up to a metal plate installed into the seat of the groom, Alranus Longwhisker. Following this sort of connection, you realize that the planner / right hand to the king of the Longwhisker clan, Emil Marigold, had disappeared. And in your search to find him, you entered the House of the Brushtails, going into the sanctuary of the Lightwell, and found in that Lightwell the corpse of Connor Brushtail, seemingly murdered, or perhaps otherwise, with black blood flowing out of his orifices. After discovering this, you went to alert the rest of the people, where we learned the king of the Longwhisker clan may or may not have rabies, and may or may not have passed it down to his son Rowan through a bite. After all of you had learned of this information, the guards were called, and you reunited with Iris. And here she stands, cradling her father's corpse. As you look and you see there is a note that has fallen out of his pocket. Chipotle, as you open up this note and unfurl it, it says, "You cannot hide the truth from them for much longer. If you won't tell them, I will." It's on this crumpled, sort of faded piece of paper. Looking at it, you can tell that its make is probably unrefined. This didn't come from somebody who used tools to make this paper. So it's probably somebody who is outside the sphere of influence of the two houses.
Guys, come read this.
Where did you find this note?
It fell out of his pocket.
His pocket, you say?
Yeah.
Is there anyone close to the king that would have kept information that he did not want others to know?
His bodyguard, maybe? I don't know. Iris, do you know anything?
Iris is knelt down in front of the Lightwell, actively sobbing over her father's corpse.
Right, bad time. No. Yeah, probably, I don't know. I think his bodyguard would be the best person to ask about this.
His bodyguard. Where would his bodyguard be?
Well, in theory, he should be here, but he's not. So, let's go up and check amongst the other people.
The other people?
Yeah, like everyone's celebrating this wedding.
Well, there's not much celebration anymore.
Does anyone else know about this? Everyone's drunk, remember?
Fair enough. Let us ask the guards to see if they've seen anything suspicious.
Walking up and out, if you recall from last time, you had drawn in the guards.
Yes.
So as you emerge from the mouse hole from the House of the Brushtails, Chipotle, you see a circle of guards, both of Brushtail and Longwhisker, surrounding the current party guests that are slowly sort of like clinging to each other and actively like whispering. There's a very, like, the tension in the air is palpable right now.
Men?
Guards turn an about face and salute you.
It's remained clear that the head of the Brushtail house, Connor Brushtail, has been murdered. Now, we are not sure where his murderer is, but it seems that his murderer was not someone of either houses. I want half of you to search around, see if any of the guests seem suspicious. I want the other half to locate Emil and bring him to me. He's the wedding planner, and I'd like to ask him some questions.
So, yes, sir. And they begin to disperse. As some disperse into the crowd, the others exit outwards, going towards the wildlands, into the forest, and also around, searching through the outskirts of the mouse's territory.
I was gonna ask if anyone knew where Connor's bodyguard is, and that they've all left now. So.
There's still people talking. Like, the guards are still talking to people right now, so you can still approach one if you need to.
Okay, so I approach one.
Yeah.
Hey, do you know where Connor Brushtail's bodyguard is?
They turn to you and go, his security detail, like most for this wedding, was relieved of his post for the wedding. We were told that because our guard was stationed around, personal bodyguards were not of need.
Fudge nuggets. Alright, he still shouldn't have abandoned his post. Why am I the newest one? And I'm still the most competent. Oh my goodness. Alright, thanks.
As you exit, what is your plan as of right now, as people are being encountered? Are any of you going out to, like, search for stuff? Are you going to try to, like, question more people?
I'm gonna get a drink. I don't know what I've gotten myself into, but
All right.
I need to be in a different level for this.
You walk up to the bar, and you go to take a drink. You pour your ale, and as you sip, you feel a mouse paw tighten around your ankle. Looking down, you can see now the hugely dilated pupils of Uriel Longwhisker, still sort of on his stomach. He's closer down to the bar, and he's just... his hand is grasped firmly around your ankle.
Oh, fuck. Someone, do you want, like, a little, like, do you want a drink too, buddy?
His other hand onto the top of your shin, starting to work his way up your leg.
I've kind of been looking around, and I see this.
Yeah.
And I come over, and I hit his hands with the pommel of my...
Your needle?
Needle sword.
Awesome. I'd say you're not trying to cause any damage. So
I'm just trying to get him off.
His hands drop to the floor, his arms and legs splayed out. He's just kind of like starfished on the ground for a second before his elbows start to push him up. And you can see bits of foam starting to form at the edges of his mouth.
I think we should go somewhere else.
Jeez. Yeah, let's go. Let's leave.
As you exit the situation rapidly, what are you looking for?
Rowan, probably.
All right.
His dad grabbed my leg.
Very ominously.
Hey, buddy. Just thought you should know, your dad's going pretty crazy.
Yes, he is. He's not known to drink, but he has drink now.
Rowan.
Is there something wrong? Did he do something again?
Your dad has rabies.
He was foaming at the mouth.
I'm aware.
Yeah, it was really not fun.
It was not.
Did he bite you?
I don't think so.
Well, then you're fine. There's nothing to worry about.
Oh,
He
okay.
bit you idiot. Earlier.
Do you think
Remember?
I not know of my situation? I'm trying to ignore it right now and just focus on the murder.
Oh my gosh.
Please.
Okay.
This can only
Fine.
end well. This can only end well.
You're doing great, buddy.
Of course it will only end well. I'm going to go look for my little brother.
All right. Pushing through the crowd, you can see your little brother is kind of unattended right now as he's sort of wandering through the groups of people. He looks kind of scared, and he doesn't know what's going on. Rowan.
Hi. Are you all right?
Yeah, what's happening?
It's okay. It's okay. There's been an accident, but it's all going to be okay.
Okay, I don't know where Alronus went. I was with him, and then he went away.
He went away? Here, did you see which way he went?
Well, he went over there, and as he points, you can see Alronus is heading. He has a guard detail with him, but he's actively heading towards the bar, mumbling something about more ale.
I'm gonna approach Alranis.
As you catch up behind him, what do you say?
Alranis, our
yes.
younger brother's left unattended in this mess.
He's fine.
There's been a murder.
Yes, but they're not murdering us now, are they?
They could.
Probably some political unrest or something.
Yes, political unrest.
Yes, but that's
this is
the
the
brush tails. We're not the brush tails. We're long whiskers.
We are now the Brushtails. You have been wed to Iris Brushtail.
Yes, I suppose.
So our families are now one and the same. Do you understand that?
Yes, but what you need to understand, my brother, is that I am not a brush tail fool. And if they come for me, I will win.
Right. You're not a Brushtail fool, but you're a long-whiskered drunkard. And I walk away.
Damn.
Oh, you got him.
You watch as he sort of scowls after you.
Hope your dad doesn't bite him.
And he turns around, sort of entering back into this group of people. What is your objective right now?
I'm going to try to find Emil to see what the hell went wrong to have a murder happen.
All right. Where's the first place you think you're going to look?
I'm probably going to see if he's with the other guests first.
All right. Give me just a quick will check. Yeah, it is will.
I pass.
Awesome. Looking through the groups of people, as you look around, you pass through guests from the Wildlands, guests that are mingling, dukes and earls and the such, and as you start to look through the crowd, you start to get really concerned that you still haven't found Emil. He's been missing for a while, until looking across, sort of curving around the edges of the sort of man-made structure that is here, you see a mouse in this sort of blue tunic that cuts deep. He has brass wire wrapped around his waist, and a multitude of different sort of he has half of a scissor shear from a pair of sewing scissors, and multiple different scavenged human goods strapped around him. As he walks forward, he goes, "I can see I'm not late to the party. What is happening here?"
Emil, what the hell is going on? Connor Brushtail has been murdered.
Oh my god. I am so sorry, but I don't know why you think I would know anything.
You are the wedding planner?
No, I just got here.
You just got here?
Yes, I just got here.
You just got here?
I was deep in the human settlements. I was scavenging. I've been working on a project recently. I have been out of communication. I received a letter but a while ago inviting me to this wedding. What is... You say Connor Brushtail is dead?
Yes, he has been murdered.
Well,
why would you have left? I saw you setting up the wedding.
No,
setting up the venue.
I have not been in contact with other mice in months.
What do you... I spoke to you 2 days ago.
You did not speak to me?
I walk away, sort of in shock.
Can I also see
Yeah,
him?
absolutely.
The thing that I do? Okay.
This is drawn attention as he's a
Yeah.
guest now entering.
So I see him. Tarragon, do you see him?
Yeah, I'm like, oh, there's that
Yes.
fucker I've been looking for this whole time.
I assume we both storm over.
Oh, I'm storming.
I'm also storming.
I'm with them, I guess. The ship is probably the safest place right now.
I am sort of near Emil, but sort of quietly panicking.
Hello, Tarragon. I did not know you were here.
You asked me to be here. What are you talking about? And where have you been?
I have been off in other lands. I have been exploring and collecting for my inventions. I wanted to apologize. Actually, I remember our last project. We did not end on good terms. It was not right of me to treat you the way that I did. And I wanted to apologize and give you this. And he takes off this sort of sliding mouse matchstick compartment that he has on his back. And he produces this sort of brass, almost spike that has what looks like some sort of LED indicator on the end of it. And says, "This is your work as much as it is mine, and you deserve to reap the benefits."
I take it and look it up and down.
You recall that you and Emil were working on a project mostly about how to convert electricity and transfer it to something without the need of wires. There's sort of a transitive property that you're beginning to discover about electricity where it can jump from thing to thing. You and Emil have been thoroughly shocked by jumping electrical currents, but what if you could manipulate the way that currents jumped in which to direct them in a correct way? And that seems to be what this device is, though it is much more refined since the last time you worked on it.
When have you had time to work on this? You've been planning a wedding for months.
No, my friend, for months I've been working on human electronics. I've been in their walls looking at their wiring and their complex understanding of the electrical concept.
Right, my turn. You know Alronis?
I know of Alronis Longwhisker. There's not few who do not know of him.
Yeah, what do you know about the metal plate that was under his chair?
Metal plate under his chair? Is it perhaps for the reinforcement of his chair? Is he not a large mouse?
No, it was connected to a battery. It was an electrical chair, and you are the one who set it up.
I'm sorry, I have just appeared here. I am not familiar. I assume if it is a metal plate that is arranged with a battery, depending on how large it is, it could prove itself quite lethal, yes.
Can I roll will to see if there's something different about him?
Absolutely.
From the last time I talked to him? Great. I do not pass.
Looking at him, his clothing's kind of changed, but besides that, he looks very similar.
I don't believe you.
I'm sorry.
It sure seems like Emil. So did
Yeah, but
Emil 2 days ago.
yeah.
I haven't interacted with him too much besides just formal business things. I can't really see anything beyond, French.
Memory loss.
Duncan, actually, you do see something different. There's sort of a light but well-healed over and furred scar running up the side of Emil's sort of neck. It, splinters out in that sort of Lichtenberg figure of being struck with a bolt of electricity.
What happened to you? Back of your neck.
Oh, it was while I was out. I was struck trying to connect two wires. I formed a connection between the two of them, and I was electrocuted.
Did he have that yesterday?
Did he?
I don't think so.
Interesting.
Memory loss. He set up a bunch of assassinations, and then he got electrocuted, and then he forgot about it. It happens all the time.
You had terrible plays.
And in New York.
Yeah. Terrible place. I've heard stories.
Yeah. Why do you think I moved here?
Rowan spins around, grabs Emil on both his shoulders. Is there anyone who would want to pretend to be you?
An amateur, somebody who is not well versed in electronics, attempting to make money off of you, or somebody who wanted to gain your trust?
Because
I'm not sure.
you were certainly, or someone who looked like you was certainly here setting up all the electronics for the wedding, along with Tarragon here.
And was well-versed. Very well-versed in electronics, let me tell you.
Messing with my shit.
I'm sorry, I am not fully aware of what has been transpiring here, but it does seem that you are very tense.
Yeah, there's been a murder.
Yes, I heard.
And, everyone's a little, concerned right now.
Oh, well, I'm sorry.
And we can't find, you, actually.
I am right here.
You want to jog his memory about the battery and
The
stuff that went missing and everything?
Well, the you who was here yesterday, anyway. We can't find him.
I am sorry. That I can assure you that was not me.
Show him. Show him the chair. Show him the chair.
Alright, come and see the chair, and I'm gonna
Yes,
bring him over to the chair to
Maybe
look
we'll
at
start remembering something.
I unplugged it, but it's mostly as it was.
Yes, connected to a battery discharges could definitely kill a mouse.
Yeah.
They are lucky that you disconnected this when you did.
Yes, and I originally had placed a capacitor on this battery for the other lights that it's supposed to power for,
Yes,
you know,
yes.
the mood lighting.
Yes, it's very important, yes.
And when I checked back on it later, it was gone.
Oh.
With the capacitor, I doubt it would have been lethal, just painful.
Yes.
Do you remember that? Because you're the one who took the capacitor off. I watched you do it.
I assure you, that was not me. But if they took a capacitor, this is not built with that, so they must be constructing something else somewhere, maybe?
Is there any place I could think of that would be have some sort of like place to work on something like that? Because I've been
There's a workshop in the Long Whisker territory that Emil has long since been using since his hiring under the Long Whisker reign.
and this was for the wedding planning stuff?
Yes, wedding planning and preliminary electronical work.
Well, Emil does have Emil, I say in quotation marks, he's had a little place to work since he's been hired by the Long Whiskers. I assume if you claim you've been out for months, and I don't know, I feel like he would probably have something in there.
Yeah.
It would have been so nice to have known that earlier. All right, let's go check it out.
Alright.
All right. Yes, by all means, lead the way. And you make your way into the Long Whisker estate, coming down through these sort of large hallways, down into sort of a sub-level, through a set of double doors.
I'm walking directly behind Emil with the hand on the pommel of...
Hell yeah. As you should.
Yeah.
As you enter into Emil's workshop, there are these sort of arrays of electrical lights that are hanging from the ceiling. And looking around, there's a manner of different electrical projects here. You can see sort of what looks to be a lighting array, sort of a miniature version of how it would be put up for the wedding. There are mock-ups and design sketches of different electrical currents and patterns and how it should be arranged. And looking through this, you can see there's a large workbench on the far wall that has what looks to be a couple like small spools of electrical wire, as well as a sort of place for cutting it using a large pair of wire cutters that have been anchored into the floor and have a lever that you can pull and push to cut wire.
You recognize this?
This is a particular space for electrical engineering. I do not arrange myself this way. I prefer my efforts to be more mobile.
That is true about you. Do I know that's true about him?
Yeah, it's something that you've worked with him before, and you know that Emil doesn't like to stay in one place for a long point in time, and so he prefers to work with hand tools instead of mass production tools.
Yeah, that is true. This isn't really his vibe. I did think it was a little strange. But, you know, it's a long-term project, so...
Can I roll will again to see if I notice anything about it?
Absolutely, you
the
can.
room? Fantastic.
Yeah, this guy who isn't you, and at least he knows what he's talking about.
Oh, I passed.
Awesome. Not only do you notice that Emil is a bit taller than you remember him being the last time you spoke to him. Before, he only came up to maybe like mid-shoulder, and here his head rests right about where your chin is. And as you look around the workshop, going through stuff, you find a small sort of like what looks like a folder in one of the drawers.
I open the folder.
Opening the folder, it's sort of like one of those like legal pads where it has a section for miscellaneous paper, and then it has a sketchbook in the inside. And going through the sketchbook, you flip through pages and pages of electrical drawings until you reach sort of towards the midsection where there are semi-journal entries, but just general words. The first entry you see reads off, my plan is nearly in action. And then it like details the list for capacitors. It lists needing capacitors, as well as a certain amount of wire, and that they need to figure some sort of way to get more lights than they had before without seeming suspicious. Going further through the journal, it talks about plans for revenge.
Do I recognize the handwriting?
I'd say you'd have to roll well for that again.
Okay. I pass again.
You have seen this handwriting before. Actually, you've seen it in some older documents that regard the Brushtails. Some older documents talking about that, like, list practices and routines and all sorts of different things that documents that existed before you came to the Brushtails. Specifically about 2 to 3 seasons before you showed up.
But it's not the same handwriting as the letter.
It is.
Oh, it is the same handwriting as the letter. Iris is not here.
Yeah, she's having kind of a bad time right now.
This isn't your journal.
No, that is not my handwriting.
Yeah, that's not your handwriting. I wish it was your handwriting. Yours is so hard to read.
It is. I will admit I spent not much of my time writing things down.
And it's in English. I assume that you would write in French.
Yes, I suppose.
What does it say?
Someone who isn't Emil has been plotting revenge.
Revenge? On the Brushtails?
On the Brushtails.
What? What do they even do?
I don't know.
Is there a Brushtail here that we could ask someone who's not having a panic attack like Iris is?
As of right now, the Brushtail line ends with Iris.
Oh no.
We should ask Iris of this.
We should.
We left Iris with her father.
We did. Let's go back to the light well.
We should go back to the light well.
We should go back to the light well right now.
You head down these hallways out into the pavilion. As you're crossing in, you can see Iris taking some steps out of the mouse hole of the Brushtail area. Her dress is streaked with black and caked in blood. Her hands are indistinguishably dark, and you can see the sort of lines in her paws that run in stark contrast with the darkness that surrounds her hands.
I took the journal with me, and so
Yeah.
I hand her the journal. And
What's this? Chip, what?
Iris, we need to talk to you.
What's going on?
Someone who's been pretending to be Emil has been plotting revenge. I think it was whoever killed your dad. I think it was who was planning to kill Alranis. And I think it's connected to what happened a couple months ago.
Okay. She takes a look at this handwriting. She reads over the journals and sort of oh.
Yeah.
I think I recognize this handwriting.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make any sense.
Do you know of anyone who would want revenge against your family?
I mean, I'm sure there's always other people that want to be on top. They think we hoard the light well for our own gain. But
revenge?
I don't understand. Rowan, I need you to make a will check.
I fail.
Rowan, as she says this, you feel sort of this heat sort of start in your chest and spider web its way out into the rest of your body. Your fingers kind of tingle and go numb for a second.
Oh boy.
As you can kind of feel your breathing get heavier and heavier. I want you to put a mark in your inventory. You can call it rabid if you like.
Hey.
Oh no, Rowan.
I turn to Iris. I sort of push her away from the rest. Then I lean in. We have to talk of your sister.
Yeah, we do.
I am not aware of who killed her, but are you? Do you know who or the group?
When she died, I didn't even get to see her body.
Do I hear any of this?
That depends how closely are you listening.
Pretty closely. I mean,
Then-
Rowan, who has rabies and who I also dislike, is talking to Iris.
Well, then I suppose you would hear this.
Great. I'm gonna join the conversation. Also, did I see her body?
No.
Okay.
Is there anyone who would know that besides your father?
There was a ritual, an embalmment, I believe, that was supposed to happen with the Arbiter of the Wildlands.
Arbiter of the Wildlands.
You remember that the Arbiter of the Wildlands is Arbiter Bramble, who is the one who identified your rabies and your father's rabies.
Yes. Arbiter of the Wildlands. Okay. I sort of turn around and I'm going to approach one of the guards that are searching through the crowd to see if they know where Arbiter Bramble is.
The guard calls out, Arbiter Bramble! As these calls and responses keep going, they sort of echo out, and as time goes by, more guards come up and sort of huddle and relay information, and one of them comes up to you and goes, Sir, we can't find Arbiter Bramble.
Really just can't find anyone today.
Rowan sort of starts leaning over and pushing at his face in stress.
You good there, buddy?
He's going to walk towards the bar.
As you
That doesn't
walk
know.
towards the bar, you see the bar itself is just kind of sitting there empty now. There's no people around it. Going up to the tap and looking around, the first thing that you notice is your father isn't here.
The stress sort of gets worse. He sort of starts visibly shaking. I start running back to the guards.
As you go to run towards the guards, you hear a noise coming from around the sort of backstage area. This kind of sound of almost like a wet plodding of paws or feet.
I'm going to draw my bow and arrows and sort of approach the stage.
You approach the stage, arcing around it sort of widely to make sure that you can get a clear shot if your father is behind here. And turning around, it's difficult to identify who it is. They're sort of hunched over. There's just sort of a small puddle of dark cloth around them. And as you get closer, that sort of wet noise gets louder. And you step forward, and there's sort of as the figure tenses and its head rounds, and you see the eyes of your father, the pupils dilated to the point where there's almost no white in his eyes, reflecting this sort of stringed lights that are above him. His mouth is red with white foam around it. And as you look down, you can see there's a large sort of gaping hole in the chest of Arbiter Bramble, where your father has torn into him.
Rowan's eyes sort of start to tear. Father. He draws his bow and looses an arrow right into his father's head.
Roll your D8.
Need a-
Oh no. It's so far away.
I need a D8. One damage.
As you go to shoot, your eyes cloud up as your father looks at you and goes, oh. And your arrow flies and sort of slices across the cheek of your father as that sort of moment of temporary acknowledgement fades in an instant, and starts scampering away towards the wilderness.
I have also been looking for Arbiter Bramble, so I see this happen, and
From your perspective, what you can see is you can only see that Rowan has loosed an arrow,
Okay.
Sort of towards the back of the stage.
Okay, then I'm gonna... If Rowan's losing an arrow, he's doing it for a reason, so I'm gonna run over and see what's happening.
I'll join as well.
As you run over, you see... The first thing you see is the bloody corpse of Arbiter Bramble.
Oh.
His chest cavity is open. That sort of greenish cloth that he was wearing has been torn and shred aside. His sort of upper neck and chest area, the previously sort of like chestnut-ish fur is now soaked deep with red blood. He's just sort of lying there, motionless, as you look off into the distance and see the scampering feet on all fours of Uriel Longwhisker scampering into the forest.
Oh God. I'm fine. I'm good. What the fuck happened?
Rowan doesn't answer. He just sort of drops his bow and slumps over on his knees, starts crying.
That good, cool.
Okay, I'm gonna awkwardly pat him on the shoulder.
I could not save his honor. He has devolved into beast.
Oh.
Yeah. We can tell. You may still be able to save yourself, though. If you find someone look at you.
I must kill whoever has ruined this wedding. They must pay. Rowan sort of gets up and do I know of where the imposter Emil was staying, like where he was sleeping?
He did have a quarters, yeah.
I rush towards his quarters.
Awesome. As you rush towards his quarters, sort of the blood pumping in your head, the only thing that you kind of hear before you disappear down the mouse hole is a calling of, "We have a casualty!" of the guards beginning to swarm around, people beginning to clamor as you disappear into darkness. Going through these sort of halls, you make a sharp left or right, going up and down until you finally find your way to Emil's quarters. You don't even take a moment to consider if his door is locked or not. You just push through the door, full the adrenaline pumping through your body. When you get into here, what is the first thing you do as you bust through the door?
I want to be tearing open drawers,
Absolutely.
looking through bookshelves, looking for anything that could
You
connect this guy
are
to the murder.
Pulling through stuff, pushing through everything. I need you to make a will save.
I pass.
You pass. As you push through, you find that sort of adrenaline of your heartbeat growing over the sound of just breaking wood and cardboard and thatch as you absolutely destroy everything in this room. It comes to a head as you pull these drawers out of a desk and throw them against the wall. They shatter into pieces, and you go up to his bed that is sort of thatched and held up by small wood splints, and you put your foot straight through it as you look down into the hole that you've made through this. Looking underneath his bed, there is a small document that you can see, folded up paper.
For a moment, it sort of subsides as I'm like, I found something. And Rowan reaches his paw in and pulls it out to look at it.
Pulling it out, it is sort of a detailed plan, a set of events that are going to occur. The first thing that it lists is the infection of King Uriel. It seems that the rabies that is affecting your father was planned. Looking through this, it says that then there will be a event at the dinner, the rehearsal, in which a capacitor is taken. That capacitor is then used and dismantled for the powder that sits within it, which is to be slipped into Arbiter Bramble's drink, which will not at first do anything until later in the night, where it will render him almost unconscious, after which the body of Connor Brushtail is mentioned in between that and the first one as being discovered. And then afterwards it says, all that says is the truth will be revealed.
Rowan sort of is like staring at it in like disbelief. And he's going to try to rally the guard again. He's going to go back to the main hall and then rally the guard again.
As you step out, the guards are now having sort of trouble beginning to pull people together as you all are sort of like still sort of standing in shock over the body of Arbiter Bramble as his body is being sort of pulled forward into the main light as more of these electrical lights shine down on his body, and you're looking around and the energy is amplified. There is so much chaos happening around you.
I'm going to approach the captain of the guard.
All right. My lord, what may I do for you?
I have found a document in Emil's chambers. The Emil that we thought was Emil was some kind of imposter, someone pretending to be him. I sort of show him the document. The infection of our king was planned. The murder of Connor Rushtail, the murder of Arbiter Bramble, they were all planned. Whoever this is very dangerous. We need to find them immediately.
All right, guards, scramble! Bring these people together! As they sort of begin to form a formation, and the two houses guards line up on either side of this patio and begin to just sort of advance. As people begin to sort of like try to push and rally against them, there are nobles that are like, no, we need to retreat back into the houses, please! As they try to push past, as guards link arms and push in with their weapons, their spears and their shields, corralling these people together.
So I'm going to start looking through the crowd to see if there's any Emil lookalikes in there.
Give me a wisdom check. Or a will check.
I pass.
You pass. Alright. Looking through, there at first glance is not a mouse that looks like Emil until you look towards the guards. And one of the guards towards sort of the end of the formation. You recognize that same sort of like fur pattern of Emil. The eyes sort of sit in the right place. The snout is at the right length. That looks like Emil.
I take one of my arrows and hide it behind my arm, and I walk up to the guard and spin him around. You.
Yes, sir.
Take off your helmet.
All right. You watch as the helmet is taken off. This looks almost exactly like Emil.
Can I take a will check to see
I was about to ask
rabid
you.
I am?
Yes, please make a will check. For
I fail.
Mark another rabies in your inventory.
Oh.
It is him!
Sir, please, I assure you.
Murderer. The murderer!
No.
I take
please.
the arrow, I jab it into his neck.
I want you to roll a d12 for this, actually.
Oh boy.
He's getting stronger.
6.
You all watch on in almost a sense of like not being able to do anything as this occurs in slow motion, as in one moment the prince releases and catches an arrow, turns it in his hand, and jabs it directly into the neck of this guard. You watch this of blood gurgling up into the neck as you just press him down into the floor, pulling up and through the trachea, as he just sort of sits there gurgling.
Rowan!
Yes.
What are you doing?
It's him, the murderer. I found him.
You watch as the grain almost of this mouse's face shifts from that of what looks like the previous imposter Emil to a mouse with gray fur, sort of white towards the edges, as almost as if it's one of those pillows that like shifts when you move the grain. It fully changes to a different face.
No. Rowan sort of like he falls backwards, just like clawing at his face.
Rowan, you need help?
I don't need help. We need to find him.
What do you do?
Fuck, find him, I guess.
Find him.
I'm gonna look for an Emil lookalike as I am most undermined and also body than Rowan.
All right. Make a will check real quick.
Yeah. Pass.
Pass. Looking through the crowd of people, one of sort of the noblewoman, actually, when you look at it, they're sort of wearing this orangish, almost like a sash-like dress, but you can see this. You recognize the sort of the brown fur and the longer snout of Emil.
I'm gonna try to not be aggressive this time to not scare them off, and I go over and I go, "Hey."
Hi. Are you guys gonna let us out anytime soon?
It really depends. Can I talk to you, though?
Yeah. Can we do it here, though? I don't want to wind up like him.
Okay. What do you know of Emil?
I saw him before. I think at the rehearsal dinner. He's the wedding planner, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gonna make another will check.
Sure.
Pass.
Pass. Looking at this person, at this mouse, you watch as after a moment of like holding on to her and like holding her attention, you watch as once again that sort of as her face shifts again, coming to that of a mouse with sort of darker black fur, and a different fur texture.
Have you seen Emil around recently?
I'm not sure. I don't think. What's going on?
We'll let you know as soon as it's safe. Sorry
Okay.
for wasting your time.
Okay. As you turn around, you see a mouse in sort of black armor. The familiar Black Widow's crest towards the center of the chitinous armor. That sort of flowing wedding regalia. This is Alranus Longwhisker, but his face looks like Emil's.
Something's going on, something's happening.
Chip, what is the meaning of this? What are you doing here? My brother just killed a man.
I know. I think what happened to him happened to me just now. And it's happening to me. Why do you look like Emil?
What do you mean I
Everyone
look
looks
like Emil?
Someone was pretending to be Emil. He killed Connor. He's plotting revenge against the Brushtails. He tried to kill you. We can't find him. Everyone looks like Emil, Alranus.
Alranus looks around, and as you look around, more and more people around you watch as their faces into Emil's. What are you talking about, Chip?
Everyone looks like Emil. Everyone's faces are turning into Emil's.
Nothing's changed, Chip. What do you mean? You're not making any sense. My brother is collapsing. Apparently, Emil was after me.
Also, your brother has rabies.
My brother has what?
Rabies. Your dad has rabies. Your dad bit him. We need to get a doctor or something. And we need to find Emil.
All right. I'll call together a party. We can track him.
Thank you.
Alranus disappears into the crowd, gathering some guards as they begin to make their way towards the outskirts of the forest, making their sort of way around, running a patrol.
Where is Iris at this point?
Iris has just been sort of sat towards the edge of the entrance to the Brushtail.
Okay, I've been continually glancing at her, making sure everything's...
She's still just sort of sitting.
Yeah.
Her head is sort of in her hands as she looks down at the ground.
Okay.
Rowan just shouts, "Witchcraft!" at the top of his lungs.
Yeah.
Tarragon, what are you doing right now?
I am trying to keep an eye on my Emil to make sure, like, keep an eye on him because I'm still like a little suspicious, but mostly convinced.
Gotcha.
And I think I probably hear all that kerfuffle, and I go over to Chip and I see, what are you talking about? Everyone's Emil? Like, this is Emil, but, and I'm pointing at him. I'm like,
Just
what do you mean everyone's Emil?
look for Emil in this group. Look for him.
Okay, and I look at the crowd and I scan for Emil.
Give me a will check.
And I believe I fail.
You fail. You don't see Emil. But what you do see sort of towards the edge of the where the long whisker mouse hole runs into the building is you see what looks to be a female mouse dressed in sort of this black sort of almost gauze-like material.
No, I don't see him. There's someone over there, though. Do you see them?
Do I see them?
You do not.
Doug, can you see that mouse over there by the long whisker entrance in the black?
You don't.
I don't see anyone. Are we just seeing things? Am I seeing things?
I don't know, Duncan, are you?
Roll check. Let's see. Ooh, ghost, spooky. I fail.
Duncan, you fail. You don't see anything, but you do hear something. You hear sort of a voice, almost as if somebody was whispering in your ear, go, Darkwood? What's up?
Turn around. Anyone there?
Nope.
Doug, what are you doing?
Sorry, just thought I heard someone calling my name.
Tarragon. The female mouse that you see over there sort of turns towards you for a moment, and she looks like your mother. And she walks into the long whisker abode.
Mom?
Your mom's here?
Why is your mom here?
I just saw her. The inn.
Oh boy, we're all losing it. This is great. This is fine. This is... I still have my ale. I've been just sipping it the entire night because it's one after the other, huh?
I should go after her? Or is she real?
I don't know. I didn't see anyone. Why are you asking me?
Because I'm going insane.
No one else sees her, but then again, you don't see Emil, and you don't see Emil.
Well, I see this one.
You don't see Emil in everyone.
Rowan, I need a will check from you.
Okay.
Brady's time.
I failed.
How many inventory slots do you have left?
I have no inventory slots left. My inventory is full.
Alright.
Well, actually, no, I dropped my bow.
You dropped your bow.
So I have an
Drop your
inventory
bow.
slot.
You do have an inventory slot. You take another inventory slot of
Oh no.
God, it's
As-
Inventory slot of what?
Rabbit.
Rabbit.
Oh, yay!
as you feel this sort of prickling up the back of your spine, and you smell something, actually. You smell stagnant pond water. The sort of deep stench of rot and decay.
Do I smell it coming from anywhere?
Feels like it's coming from all around you.
I'm just going to jump up and start, panically, look around in all directions, trying to find where
As
it
you
is.
look around, it gets a little stronger when you look towards the entrance to the brush tail.
I'm going to get up. I'm going to slowly walk towards the Brushtail house.
You walk right past Iris as she goes, Rowan, what are you? And you just walk right past her. It's at this point, Duncan, you hear that voice again. Duncan, what you doing, bud?
Does it sound like anyone I know?
Nobody that you've heard in a while. Maybe something you've heard in a dream sometime.
Hello?
Hi.
Oh. Hi. Who is this?
Well, who I am isn't really... Well, it doesn't really apply. I'm more of a what.
What?
Yeah, you got it.
Okay. Hey, what's going on?
Well, I've been seeing what's happening, and I gotta say, it's kind of down in here. Think you could pick it up? Play us all a little tune, maybe?
Yeah, I can do that. So I grab my lyre, give it a little strum.
Hey, Donuts. What are you doing?
Huh? What?
What? This is not the time.
Well, actually, I kind of think it might be a little bit. Everyone's like panicking and whatnot, so I figured, why not? You know?
Who are you talking to?
I sure would like to know.
Go ahead, Duncan. Play him a song.
Okay. And I start playing a little Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. How about that? That's a fun one. That's a good classic for the kids.
As you begin to play, I need Chipotle. I need you to make a will save.
Okay.
You fail.
Yeah,
I
I do.
Chipotle, this is a good song, and you feel your body begin to move on its own. You start to dance.
To Twinkle Twinkle Little Star.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
What? What is that? It doesn't matter. It's a good song. It doesn't matter what I'm.
Tarragon, as you enter into the Long Whisker abode, you can see the wisps of this. You keep running after her, but the sort of wisps of the black dress keep leading you this way, that way, the other way. And as you finally think you get her at a dead end, you come to this large wall, the sort of arched, large stone bricked wall directly in front of you.
Mom, what are you doing here?
She's gone.
Where do you go? Also, where am I?
You're somewhere deep under the castle, maybe? Under the...
I do not remember how I got here. Oh, shit. And I look all around for, turn back, look where I came from.
It's just sort of a long hallway that goes and then curves off to the left.
This is... anything else in front of me besides the wall? Just that?
Just that large sort of brickstone wall.
What kind of hallway is this? Just ends in a wall? I'm gonna kind of check out the wall.
Looking at the wall, it seems very even and uniform until you hit a brick that's sort of out of place. And you press it in, and the wall rotates to the side, revealing the secret passage.
Oh. I'm gonna step in.
As you step in, you enter this dark room. There is what seems to be some sort of dark stone that smooths out into this sort of dome that comes to a point, and directly in front of you is what looks to be sort of this brick circular pool.
Well, I guess they both have magic water then. Alright, I'm gonna get closer to the water thing. Well, maybe?
Getting closer to this sort of the well. It smells clear and clean. Like the water hasn't been touched in years. It's not fetid or stagnant. And you reach your sort of paw into it and it's cool to the touch. As you take your hand out, it feels strange. And you feel kind of different for a moment. It's almost as if you had a terrible fever for a really long time and it finally breaks and you are out of that sort of delusion for a moment.
Can I see anything else in the room or just this?
It only seems to be this.
I think I can do something with that. if I can find my way back out.
As you think, find my way back out, you get flashes, momentary sort of visions of turning left and then right, then left again, going upstairs, going straight, going left, going right, going up again, going left, going right, going straight, and you can see the way out in your mind.
Well, this water's really something. And I don't think I have any carrying devices on me. So I'll just, hopefully remember the way back. And I leave, taking the path that I have in my mind's eye. Once I get out, I'm going to be looking for Rowan.
Gotcha. Looking out across the crowd, you can see that for some reason Duncan is playing his lyre, and now groups and groups of people are beginning to dance, one of them being Chipotle. But looking across this group of people, you don't see Rowan anywhere. And looking past the sort of group that is beginning to dance, you don't see Iris either.
Guy, I go up to Duncan and Chipotle, and I go, guys, what is going on? Where's Rowan? Why are we dancing to...
Duncan, as you stop playing, everybody around you stops dancing, and Chipotle, you stop dancing as well.
What just happened?
You were playing a song, and it was okay, I guess, but not very dancey, and everyone was dancing, and why were you playing... That was not very funeral-y music.
Where's Iris?
I was going to maybe ask you that, but...
I don't
I don't know. I found something. I think it can help Rowan.
I don't know what just happened.
Neither do I.
So weird.
Okay.
Talking to someone.
Well, we need to find Rowan,
Where's
because
Iris?
maybe he's going to eat someone.
Where's Rowan?
Rowan, you have been walking through these halls. The water, the smell of fetid water gets stronger and stronger. You hear the sort of echoey in the back of your head. Rowan, where are you going? Rowan, stop. As you push it away, you walk into the chamber of the light well, pushing through the curtain.
Oh boy.
You can see the light now. You understand. You can see this sort of like bright white in the center of the dark, murky water. There's something down there, and it's calling to you.
I jump in.
You push in. The water is warm. It feels nice. As you push further and further down, pulling towards this light, the rest of you, what are you doing?
Where do you think he would go, or where would Iris go?
Where would Iris go? Well, we've had good luck going to the light well, and I feel like if she was feeling unsafe, maybe she would go there. Let's try that.
It's worth a check.
I guess so.
As you enter in, you take the curves and you come out through the window, through the small sort of curtain. You see Iris over the edge of the light well going, Rowan! She looks up, guys, he just jumped in. I don't know what's going on.
Oh.
How far down?
I don't know. We don't jump in it.
Oh. What are you supposed to do
I
with
look
it?
down.
Just look?
Can I see him like at all?
You can see a murky shape of a mouse heading towards.
Can I swim? I can swim.
Can
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, gonna take off my armor and my sword and jump in after him.
You jump in after
Don't
Rowan.
get bitten.
I'll try not to.
Coming down, Rowan, you can feel, it feels almost like the rays of the sun are on your face and that you don't have to worry anymore. It's such a nice, comforting feeling. And then you feel something on your ankle. It's cold. It's icy. And as you look down, there's a paw around your ankle, and all you can see is your father's face in your head. His jaws opening wider and wider. What do you do?
I clench my fist and I fucking bash him in the head.
Roll a d4.
Yay! I'm so glad.
Under.
When as Rowan does this, he tries to shout, but he's underwater, so it doesn't make a sound. 2 damage.
2 damage. You take 2 damage as Rowan turns and sees you. His eyes almost like glazed over, and just poof, he comes down with his paw.
Oh no.
You take 2 points of damage.
Yeah, I know.
being struck, you can now, you kind of have a foothold towards the top, and in one move, you can probably pull this up, but you'd have to make a strength check.
Okay. I'm trying to roll under.
Your strength score.
Pass.
You push both of your legs against the sort of slick stone, and you essentially like pull down for a squat, pull yourself around, and push up with your legs as you push up into the air, and pull Rowan up and out. Rowan, you are freezing cold.
The well. I turn to Iris. The light, I see it, Iris. I see the light.
You see the light.
So warm, so beautiful.
I think it's getting to his brainstem.
I saw my father in the well, Iris.
Rowan, I don't know what to tell you.
I feel myself slipping, Iris. I'm fading away.
Yeah, you are.
Ask the well, Iris. Save me.
Okay. She sort of puts her hands on the sides of your head and closes her eyes. You can feel her fingers start to dig into the sides of your head as she just... You feel her arms start to shake the same way yours do, and you warm for a moment, but it's fleeting. You can remove one condition of rabies from your body. His iris goes, I felt it. I felt it. I felt the light well. I felt it.
The well.
Good job.
It is with you, Iris.
I'm so proud of you.
Something's out there. Something's outside. We have to go. We have to go.
Outside
Something
where?
outside.
Outside what?
Bolts out of the curtain. You can hear the sound of like her dress ripping as she like steps on it and fully still pushes as the hemline of her dress pulls and rips. You just hear the smacking of her bare paws sprinting full force down and out.
We should
Let's
follow
go.
her.
Rowan,
I don't want to stick around here.
Rowan follows her, but in sort of like a half scamper, half run.
I make sure that he's keeping up.
Yeah.
I'm going.
I'm just...
As you come out, the air is different. It's strange. It holds this sort of energy to it. And as you look out, the first thing you notice is that nobody's saying anything. Everyone is silent. Duncan, you hear that voice in the back of your head again. It says, you know, it'd be a shame if they were to lose you too.
Lewis,
You can always come with me.
come with you.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Where are you talking about?
Well, I can't really tell you. You wouldn't really understand. But what you should understand is that they're not going to make it.
Who?
Everyone. You can save yourself, Duncan Darkwood. If that's what you really want.
Oh boy. Is it just everyone is just standing around, they're not doing anything?
They seem to be standing in almost a stupor, just sort of looking up through these arches towards the stage, as if a show was going to start.
Hey, Donuts, you talking to the thing again?
The thing? Yeah, I think. Am I? Yes. I think it wants me to perform?
Well, don't. Remember what
Seems like
happened last time?
I don't know. I didn't necessarily think of it as a bad thing.
Rowan almost drowned.
Okay. I don't think it had anything to do with the thing that I was doing, but whatever. Let's just go. Whatever Iris is running from, I just have a bad feeling that it might be whatever is telling me to play.
Yeah. If something's telling you in a creepy voice that you gotta play music, it's probably not good.
Rowan, do you know anything about like really deep in your home, like a bunch of hallways down? I was in there. I saw a well, I don't know what it was, some kind of apparition, and I followed it, and there was this well.
Well,
You have no idea what Tarragon's talking about.
A well
And I
of water.
of water, and I put my paw in, and for a moment my mind was just clear.
I have never heard of such a place.
Yep.
Do you know where it is?
I think I can find my way back, and I think it could help you, maybe?
Take me.
Alright, and I'm gonna take him and set off in the
As you
direction I
head
remember.
towards that direction, what are you two doing?
I kind of want to play just to see what happens.
I am going to do everything in my power to make sure that that doesn't happen.
Well, it seems we're at an impasse. I'm going to start walking towards the stage.
Donuts, no! Donuts, no!
What? What?
Don't
What?
do it!
Look at all of them.
Yeah?
What is going on with them?
I don't know, but I'm not sure that you playing music is going to help.
Well, it kind of did last time.
No, it didn't. Everyone... Do you remember really what happened during that? Because I don't. And I'm sure none of them do either.
But the thing is, if everyone was dancing, you and me included, why are they still?
I don't know. I'm gonna go up to one of them and go, hey!
They look towards the stage and say nothing in response.
Do they blink?
No.
I'm gonna slap them.
No response.
Chip, what are you doing?
Trying to wake them up.
Well, I feel like there's a very obvious way to wake them up. Whatever this is, I don't know why, but...
One note. See what happens if you play one note.
I play a G.
Make a will check.
Oh boy.
I pass.
You play the G, and it resonates out through this area. It reverberates and echoes back as it fills your body with this sort of feeling of completion. And you watch as the left arms of each individual that are standing here go up and freeze midair.
Oh.
That's
Creepy.
not what I thought was going to happen.
I don't know what I thought was going to happen, but it wasn't that.
Duncan, you hear that voice in your head say, "Why'd you stop? I was ready.
Ready to what?
I was ready for this show."
Donuts, stop talking to the thing.
Duncan,
Donuts.
you and I both know what you're good at. Let's be real. What did you think was going to happen when you came to this wedding? I'll tell you what you thought. You thought you were going to play in your band, and you were going to get your attention, and you were going to get your coin, and you were going to go home to your bed knowing you did a good job, because when you play, that's all it ever is. That's all that matters, isn't it? So why don't you give them what they came here for?
Donuts, stop listening to it.
Make a will check.
I fail.
Oh no.
Duncan, you feel your fingers begin to move faster than ever as all of these,
Donuts!
they begin to waltz in time as this incredible playing, as he's only strumming the strings of a lyre, but almost as if a band that wasn't there begins to strike up and echo throughout the entire chamber. And you watch as Duncan Darkwood's shadow stretches and rises, and a hand pulls its way out of the shadow. It's crooked and wrong and sharp.
Am I also dancing, or do I
You're
see
not
this?
dancing. You
Okay.
are in full view of this entire thing that's happening as all of these mice begin to dance in a circle and in time as whatever this is begins to pull its way out of the
Donuts, stop playing!
shadow. Duncan, you couldn't stop if you wanted to.
I cut his hand off.
Make a strength check.
You didn't need to do a will save for that. I was going to strum anyway.
I know.
That escalated very quickly.
You know how I told you guys this was going to be a drama? It's not a drama, it's a
pass.
tragedy.
Bro, this is some Lovecraftian shit.
I pass.
Don't pass.
You pass. Duncan, you watch as your hand... Roll a d12 actually for me real quick.
It may have been a little... You know what? Maybe I should have, hit his wire instead. But you know what?
You're fine. Roll your d12 and tell me how much you get. That's good. That's actually really good.
No!
Because as you go to strike down, you watch as this hand comes to grab your needle. As you strike down with your needle, the hand comes and grasps around it. You readjust and push through the palm. And you watch as you push through, you shoulder up into the palm of it, and you pull up and through the flesh, bisecting that part of the hand.
Nice.
It sort of falls to the ground, the fingers still trying to crawl, and you through the top. And you watch as the arm slowly begins to wisp away. Duncan.
Do I cut Duncan's hand off like I was trying to do?
We'll get to that.
Okay.
Duncan, you hear a scream that is not just one, but thousands. This sort of cacophony of pain in your head. It vibrates your skull. And you drop your lyre, and you blink, and you can see now the active party that was dancing have sort of fallen to their knees, most of them unconscious, others, their eyes open but breathing labored. You can see this sort of set of two eyes that you've never seen before in your life, that look like a mouse's but somehow are not. And they look at you with disgust as they fizzle and fade away into your shadow.
Ow! What the fuck was that? Oh, my head hurts.
You take 3 points of damage.
Have I cut his hand off?
No, his hand remains intact.
Oh, good.
Okay. Yeah. No, yeah.
You know what? In retrospect, I probably should have gone for the lyre instead of your hand, but I'm glad that thing's gone now.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Let's...
And I'm glad I didn't actually cut your hand off.
Yeah. Me too. Let's go find the others. And I'm going to leave my lyre behind.
All right. As you head back into the Long Whisker mouse hole, you have retraced your steps coming down into this area. The door still ajar. You see this sort of dark stone room, the well sitting in the center. In a part of the castle, your home that you've never been to before, that you didn't even know existed.
Here it is.
What secrets have they kept from me? Oh no! Like silently walks up to the well and drops his hands into it.
You drop your hands in. This sort of feeling of cold works its way through your fingers up, almost as if the water is replacing the blood in your veins as it pumps up through your body. You take a breath, and in your mind, you see a woman that you only got glimpses of. You recognize her as Calliope Brushtail, Iris's older sister. You see her and your brother, as they were wed far before Iris was supposed to be. They were engaged to be betrothed and you see the both of them on a sort of outcropping, somewhere jutting out of this man-made structure. You can see them looking out across the winter sort of scape of the forest. And you can't hear what they're saying, but Uranus is shouting something, and Iris is shouting back, and there's an exchange, and you watch as your brother grabs her by her shoulders, his eyes clouded with rage and indifference. and he throws her off of this balcony, down, plummeting into the snow. And in an instant, you are back in the room.
And that was Calliope.
Rowan sort of slowly gets up, lets the water drip off his fingers, and then I turn to Tarragon. I have received a vision. I must speak with Alranis.
I don't know where he went.
You will lead me out of here.
Alrighty. And I start retracing my steps back out.
As you retrace your steps back out, as you're coming up, you run face first into these two. Duncan and Chipotle.
I've had some revelations.
Out of my way. I must speak with my brother.
What happened?
I have received a vision.
Yeah, apparently. What happened?
He's received it.
He
I'll explain it to you on the way.
Has slain Calliope.
Huh.
Oh.
I must speak with him.
Yeah, so must
sort of
I.
Push right past them.
I'll follow, I guess.
As you push
Who the
past them,
fuck
the
is
first step that you
Calliope?
take, you're in another place. All of a sudden, you are in the throne room. So discussion between Alranis and your father. Something about how it was not Alranis who slayed Calliope. No, it was someone who was unhappy with the way that the kingdoms were run. Someone who was upset with them. Someone who had good reason to do this. As you take another step and are back, beginning to walk into the sort of plaza once again. Most of the people are on the floor, kind of. They're beginning to rise back up. Many are holding their heads. Alranis is just sort of breathing heavily and looking around. As he rises to his feet, he goes, "Brother, what's happened here?"
I have received a vision of Calliope.
What do you mean Calliope is dead, brother?
I am aware. And it was you, brother.
That is a mighty accusation to say to the king, brother.
A king who is a drunkard is no king at all.
Then maybe it is time you finally learned your place. And you watch as he steps up to you and is going to reach for your chest. I want you to make a strength check.
I fail.
You fail. You watch as Rowan Longwhisker is lifted up into the air by the edges of your armor that you're wearing.
Oh boy.
Grabbing you by the straps, he pulls you up until you're levitating off of your feet in the air. And he pulls you in. And he goes, "A brother who does not believe his own brother, one who puts him down, is not a brother of mine."
I bite him on the face.
Hell yeah! Roll a d6.
Give me a d6. 2 damage.
2 damage. You bite. You sink your teeth deep into the face of your brother. He, and puts you down. He wipes the blood with his paw.
While he's still wiping the blood, I'm running back to the stage to grab my bow.
All right.
And I was standing behind Rowan during this with my sword partially drawn.
I'm grabbing my hammer. It's not out yet, but I'm holding it really close.
So while Rowan goes to get his bow, I draw my sword and I point it at Alranis.
Alranis goes, "Huh. So you're all turning on me, huh? So be it." He pulls up under his armor and produces from his sheath one of the same sort of large scalpel-like knives that he had before.
I was willing to give you the benefit of the doubt, but this seems like an overreaction.
I wouldn't expect you to understand.
Understand what?
How any of this works.
Killing
You
Calliope?
are a street mouse.
Yeah,
You do
and?
not belong in this court. You cannot come here and act the way you do towards me, towards my family?
And you are a murderer.
What I am is the king. And he starts to rush towards you with his knife out. He's going to strike at you. Can somebody get me a D8?
I
He's a
only
big
have
bitch.
1 hit point left, by the
Oh,
way.
no. Well, that's a 6. So you feel the pointed end of this scalpel blade push through your armor into your stomach, up towards the point where you feel it almost towards the back. You feel the edge of it push towards the back, not quite breaking the skin, as he leans in and goes, "You are nothing," and pushes you off the blade. He's now beginning to breathe very heavily. I need you to make a strength check.
Yeah. I pass.
You pass.
I pass.
Reduce your strength score by 2.
Okay.
You are not actively bleeding out.
Okay,
right
and
now.
I'm at 0 hit points.
You are at 0 hit points.
Fantastic.
What are you doing, Rowan?
I pick up my bow from behind the stage, and I shout, "Brother, I, Rowan Longwhisker, will slay you. He who has killed Calliope, who plotted to kill our father and seeks to gain power over all houses."
You're a fool, Rowan. You always have been. And he starts to walk towards you.
I take one of my arrows, I draw the bow, and I aim specifically for one of his eyes.
All right. Roll your damage.
4 damage.
4 damage. The arrow flies straight and impacts directly into the eye socket. You watch as he goes, "Ugh!" and begins to breathe heavier as you notice flecks of spit begin to foam at the edges of his mouth. He looks up towards you. He goes, "If that's what you want, then that's what you'll get." And he drops on all 4s and begins to charge you. He's going to push you over and attempt to bite you. I need a D4 from you.
D4.
Yeah. That is 2 points of damage.
I am at 0 health.
You're at 0.
That's
So I think that
exactly
means
how
you
much
make
health
a
I have.
strength check.
I fail.
You
Oh
fail.
boy.
Oh boy.
You go unconscious.
Oh boy.
Oh, that's so
Um,
fun.
The last thing you see before your vision fades to black is the maw of your brother. It feels almost as if there's more teeth in his mouth than you've ever seen in another mouth's before it clamps down on your neck and your vision fades. Duncan and Tarragon, as you look over this, you watch as Alranus pulls his body up off of his brother's, and he looks bloody and beaten, the blood pouring from the cut on his snout, the blood pouring out of his eye, the arrow still stuck steadfast in there, moving as he looks across the crowd. He breathes heavy. You hear a voice. You hear, "Alranus, you were last on my list." As you see a taller mouse, sort of lithe, the familiar brown, sort of almost hazel fur of the Brushtail clan, as Calliope Brushtail emerges from the wilderness. As she steps forward, clad in this almost sort of like ceremonial garb, as she goes, "It's just as I said. First, the king is infected. Then, my dear father passes away. Then it is Arbiter Bramble. And then the truth is learned, Alranus. Congratulations. You're not a murderer. But I am." As she throws a blade, and it into the back of Alranus' neck as he turns to meet her gaze for a moment before he falls to the ground, dead.
Hey.
Calliope nods. She steps up onto the stage and addresses you all. It says, "My fight is over. I don't belong here in your courts, and neither do you. This system has destroyed us,
You're so right.
and it cannot be allowed to go on any longer.
Yay.
You two, take your friends and leave this place.
Okay.
You don't want to be here for what's about to happen."
Oh,
Nice to meet you too. Okay.
Okay,
let's,
cool.
We're
let's
bringing
go.
your sister too. Just
Iris is safe. She's with me now.
okay.
And as you gather your companions, the rest of the crowd, almost nervous, scared, not understanding what's happening, you hear a noise. This sort of as a fox steps out from the tree line, huge and towering, its mouth full of sharp teeth, begins to descend upon the party.
Yeah, let's go.
I pick up Rowan and I just book it.
And you leave
I leave.
the four.
I also book it if a little more
Yeah.
slowly than I would like.
Yeah, I assume that Tarragon picks you up and as to
Tarragon,
the best
I'm
of their
leaning on
abilities.
Tarragon. Tarragon's not very big. No.
As
I attempt to lean on Tarragon and accidentally crush him.
as you leave, the four survivors of what will come to be known as one of the greatest massacres in mouse history. But you have survived, at least for now. If not irrevocably changed by the world around you in the events that have transpired tonight. And that's where we'll end off.